Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here for the Village of Airmont for the Community Design Review Committee on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025 at 11:02. Our first application is 39 Beston Parkway LLC, located at 39 Beston Parkway, for a freestanding place of worship with a special permit. This is for the final for chairman's endorsement. I don't see the rabbi on, but I don't know who R. Ramathan is. But I do not see Rabbi Kleiman on at all. Oh, here he is. I'm admitting him now. Okay, Rabbi Kleiman, you're the first application. And I know you're here for chairman's endorsement. John Nozak retired from Fusco Engineering, and Al Fusco could not be on today, so we do have Todd from his firm on. There was a memo that I received today that I forwarded. There was some questions on I guess, the stormwater, and I'll let Todd go through his memo.
Is he, the applicant has my, the
Yes,
letter?
I sent it. As soon as I got it, I sent it to all the consultants and to the applicants.
Okay, is the applicant, is the engineer or is it the,
No,
the
the
owner?
applicant is the applicant himself, the rabbi.
The applicant, so, okay. So I
His
guess I just
engineer is
had,
not on here.
okay, so just coming in late, did have some questions on the first question on my letter was the catch basin on the north side of the parking lot. It doesn't appear that's gonna, grab any stormwater. I just wanted to have somebody to look at that. Maybe we put it on the south side because we're sheet flowing across the parking lot, from, on the southerly, it's probably southern east to west towards the structure. So that's the first question. Is there any, questions on that or anything that you need from me to describe any further detail?
I'm not an engineer, but the site plan that was sent and before everyone was the site plan that the planning board approved.
Okay,
They got a final approval. So
okay.
I can't answer from an engineering perspective.
And the owner didn't, I just wanted to make sure the owner was aware of just some of the
Okay,
comments, that's all.
Rabbi Kleiman, you're on.
Yeah, I'm on. You just wanted to make sure I'm aware of what? Good morning.
Good morning. Did you see the email I sent you with the memo I got
You just sent it now?
about 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
I mean, if this has been through the planning board, I mean, I'm looking at it for the first time and I do my plan review, having the history, but these are the things I can go through a couple. The major one that I see was the snow area for, the overburden for snow, the area allocated for snow clearing. It looks like that's over top of the outfall structure for the stormwater. So my concern was in April, if we have 5 or 4 feet of snow and we have good weather and it's raining, we're not gonna have anywhere for that outfall to go. It's gonna be blocked by mounting snow.
Wasn't this gone over with the planning board and approved already?
Maybe it was, I'm coming in late, so maybe that
Okay,
was
yeah.
addressed.
So Todd, just so you're familiar, chairman's endorsement means the plans were reviewed and approved by the planning board and or zoning board if they
Okay,
needed variance, which this did, and it received it. What
okay,
they're here for are the final pieces, like the stormwater agreement, looking at the Schedule A that was submitted, the cost estimate to see if the numbers that were included were correct or do they need to be changed, and what if changed, what those numbers are. I
okay,
believe John Nozak and Al, I can't speak for Al, but all the items were reviewed. Any stormwater, I think this had a SWIP, right, Rabbi?
Yes.
Okay, that was all submitted, and I think it went John Nozak had gone through it. To what extent, I can't answer because I'm not an engineer, but I can forward you the SWIP I can forward you, unless they're on file with Fusco, all the review memos prior to this.
We
But-
had do we have a response letter from our, we had a November 18th letter that went out and talked about the stormwater. Is there a response letter from our letter dated on the 18th of November?
I would have to look in the file,
Okay,
after the meeting and forward it.
okay. All right, I understand. So we'll
Okay.
review those documents that you sent in.
All right,
and
so I
can move
forget
forward.
what their final meeting was. I think it was November, but I don't know if we got a final response to that memo. I honestly have to look at the memo, look at the digital submissions. And I'll forward you what we received.
Okay, all right. Sounds good.
So until then, I guess, those other items had not been reviewed by Al as of yet?
No, not of yet, not of yet. Yeah, those,
Okay.
I think you sent 5 docs, so
Yeah,
we have not looked at those yet.
and I'll resend the SWIP, so we'll have to send that. Okay, so
Okay.
Rabbi, behind the scenes, I'm gonna resend this information to them. And I'll work with you. You don't have to come back to another meeting, I don't believe, but I will work with them to get those items done for you so we can get the plans endorsed once they're satisfied with that. My only comment is your plans still say 72 Muncie Heights Road and 39 Besson. Your lots were merged when you first started with this project. I think it should reflect 39 Besson, which I believe is the merged lot with that one section block and lot. So when we do request the 7 sets of plans to be endorsed, that Mr. Gdansky your engineer make those changes.
Okay,
Okay? All right, so I'll work with you behind the scenes on the other items, okay?
okay, so there's anything else?
Lou, I don't know if you had anything else for 39 Besson. Chris?
No,
No.
nothing for me.
Okay, because you did turn in the fire lane agreement and the other things are all for the engineer to review.
Okay,
So I'll work with them and I'll be in touch with you behind the scenes, okay?
okay, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Have a good day.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
You too.
Take care.
Okay, the next application is Congregation Bias Medress of South Muncie, located at 4 Lee Drive. It's for proposed residential place of worship. And submitted was a 1-page proposed sketch plan. And I guess, Rachel, are you representing them?
I am.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anyone from the congregation's here or not.
I did
So
send it
to start, we
Josh-
just,
Joshua Howell and Mr. Petrinovitz. I also sent it to their attorney. But I don't know if they'll be on.
okay. So we started with just a sketch, to get a little bit of feedback. There is an existing building on the property. They're seeking to use the building as a freestanding place of worship under 10,000 square feet. It's the R35 zone. So based on the size of the sanctuary part, they would need 12 parking spaces. We're providing 7. They have advised that the congregation is very small and they all walk to the shul and they've been worshiping together for the last 4 years. They've never had problems parking on the street, or with the parking on the street. They've just been fit on the driveway. The worship area. No, I'm just relaying what is told to me. I don't, this isn't my neighborhood. I don't drive by. This is what I am told.
That's okay. Go ahead.
The worship area is proposed to be 700 square feet. And then so the parking calculation is based on that. The rest of the building, they would have a library and other accessories, but it would be, the worship area is 700 square feet.
Okay, Rachel, one thing is your EAF represents the freestanding under the 10,000 square feet. Their application does not, so they're gonna need to update that. It says residential house of worship. And
Okay, yeah, I didn't do
that's
the
a
application.
different
I'll talk to them
category.
about that.
Yeah, there's a different category. That's why when I posted it, I wasn't sure which one it was. I went by the application.
Okay, yeah, so there is not a rabbi residence. It's freestanding and the
That's what
total
I
square
thought.
footage is under the 10,000.
No rabbi residence. Okay, yeah, they need to update that so we have it on record properly. There was a memo. Did you get that, Rachel? Did I send you the memo?
From Fusco?
Oh, Fresco, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I did send it to you. Okay.
Yep, just before.
Yeah, I just got that one. Lou,
Yes, ma'am.
you have issues?
I have lots of issues with this one.
Okay,
I have the blueprints for the original conversion. They've been using it as a house of worship for years. They actually have multiple violations for using it as a house of worship. And the upstairs, I don't know what kind of configurations, because we have no interior plans. I don't know what kind of things are changing. But currently, the house of worship upstairs was 880 square feet. The total upstairs is 1,058. So unless they're doing a major renovation inside and reducing the size of the worship room, you're gonna need more parking and it's gonna need a fire sprinkler system.
Okay.
And the parking's doable because currently they're parking behind the house where your parking lot stops at the edge of the rear edge of the house. They have parking spaces up on the back side of the house, so you can add more spaces there.
Okay.
The other-
I agree. I agree with the parking. I mean, I think they have an opportunity to get more parking, definitely.
Yeah, I could tell you they're currently using it as parking. So the other issue we're gonna have is the planning board. One of the planning board members is actually an owner of the property, so he's gonna have to recuse himself.
Okay.
okay. Uh, there was something I wanted to tell you and I forgot what it was. Oh, the Tallman Fire, I didn't get their letter, but they are going to be requesting, just so you know, when you make further changes, a turning maneuverability page if needed.
That's
But there
not,
might-
And
but
yeah, they don't need to come onto the driveway.
Don't
They
need
can-
to come on, okay.
Yeah.
And it's 150 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, then they don't need to come on.
Nope.
they can access it from.
Maybe that's why I didn't get the memo. Okay.
Right,
Yeah, they can, this one they can just get to from the street,
From the
but
street,
the
okay.
parking lot, the driveway is not to the length that they need to turn around.
no
Yeah,
way.
the person I spoke to said he wasn't sure if one was required because it looked like a small property, but I didn't know.
Right.
And I just asked for the memo.
Accessible from two sides, but I really think that they're gonna push for a fire sprinkler system in there. And actually, I was involved when they were building this, even though they lied to me and told me it was going to be a rabbi's residence 4 years ago. I asked them to rough in sprinkler pipe, and they didn't. So they should have roughed it in because now they would already have it rigged. All they would have to do is put a pump in.
Okay.
And is the property accessible? You show a handicap spot? What is the finish, first floor
So-
grade level?
Well, that's the other problem. The house of worship's on the second floor, and the handicap accessibility is on grade level. So there's a flight of stairs,
Okay, so then they need to have,
an
An
elevator or a lift,
elevator,
if it's ADA compatible.
Or grade ramp all the way up?
That would be huge.
I don't know. Is it a bi-level? I'm not sure. Is
Yeah,
it
it
more
is.
8 feet? It's a bi-level, so it goes up. Okay, so
It was a bi-level. The center staircase was taken out and moved towards the end of the building where the garage is. So, but
Okay.
it's still, and it's built into a hill, so probably the best way to do it would be running a grade ramp up the back of the house where the parking lot's gonna be. So that would not be advantageous at all, so,
maybe 40-foot ramp.
yeah,
50-foot ramp.
it would go into the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah, 1 on 12. Yeah. Okay. That was part of our comments too, accessibility, because you have a pathway leading to nowhere. It didn't
Well,
seem like it was.
It's an assembly area and it's commercial, so it's required to have handicap accessibility and ADA, so I
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna do with that.
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the inside plans.
yeah,
but I
that's
will-
gonna need to
That
be.
was why I
submitted.
wanted to start with a sketch, so like we could, I knew that they did seem that it had been in use for a while, so I wanted to find out some of this information now instead of going too far.
Right, well, I just printed out the inside plans this morning and have a copy of them if you want them. For the existing house, I don't know what they're changing though.
Yeah, sure, that would be good. Do you have it to email or just, I can pick it up?
I could do it as either way. I think I could do it as a PDF. I'm gonna need my clerk to give me a hand with that, but
Okay, yeah, if you can do that, that's awesome. Thank you so much. At least then I know where they're starting and I can see what they're proposing and where.
Right. Originally, this was done with, they did the construction without a permit, and we had to get a structural engineer because they weakened the structure by taking out all the internal walls, to the point that we had to bring in a structural engineer to reinforce the building, including plywood cross panels, front and rear and on both sides, to try and stop it from racking. So this was a giant mess, multiple violations, several engineers' letters. And then we tried to work out a compromise, and they were going to legalize it, which is why we roughed in, or told them to rough in sprinkler pipe. And they roughed in white PVC pipe. And then when I said it wasn't sprinkler pipe, they painted it orange. So it was a go from the get-go.
So I presume this is coming back to another CDRC once there's more information gathered and changes made to the plan, and I get a letter from Tolman and et cetera.
We don't know what the inside looks like. It's gonna have to
Yeah,
come
we
back.
need architecturals, proposed architecturals.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Rachel. Okay, so our next application is Parshalom Cemetery, 44 Hillside Ave, for proposed minor modifications, temporary structures for a proposed amended site plan. And I believe we have Paul Baum on, the attorney.
I'm here. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Oh, hi,
Morning,
Dave.
Paul.
You're there too. Hi. Dave Ziegler's the engineer, Todd, just so you know, and Paul is the attorney.
You want me to start, Paul?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so-
you're most familiar with this revised plan, so.
All right, so we discussed this about having two temporary trailers installed on this finished as-built. It's certified C of O, and we then moved the trailers, and we also made them not on slabs. So this latest plan shows temporary trailers accessible from the curb. And we're asking to have it approved as temporary trailers. I did receive the engineer's 3 items, and none of the 3 are a problem. We can easily address those. So at this point, I think I would just hand it off to Paul, because it seemed to get a little confusing as to the process we're going. And I think Paul had some emails back and forth, but unless there's some other questions, it's really, what's the process for this temporary use?
So, yeah, I was a little confused. What I thought the original intent is that you wanted to put this one construction trailer on in connection with, one, the building of those OLs, and also in connection with the approved site plan for the extension of the cemetery on the property to the east. And that the construction trailer was basically to serve that. And that's what we were going in under Lou on that section, that you referenced, where it says the planning board has to approve the location of the temporary trailers, and you can have it for up to 18 months.
Mhm.
So that was the construction trailer. Now, the other thing, I guess, is he wants to put this temporary restroom trailer on there. And Lou, did you see the specs on this thing? It's just what we were talking about at the meeting. It's just, do we even need an approval for that, since it's going to be on wheels?
You do. You're allowed to have 2 construction trailers. I would consider both of these the construction trailers,
Yeah. Okay, so
because
Um,
it's got to be limited as to time frame, because you can't have a temporary restroom thing there forever.
right, so the whole, I guess under the code, we're allowed to have it for 18 months to facilitate the construction. Or if we're done sooner, then we got to take them off. I guess.
Well,
You
that
said
would be
you don't.
nice. Thank you.
You said you don't work with that, and nobody's ever done it in the village before. But Dave's telling me that that, you know, when somebody starts construction on a project, they always bring in a trailer, so they have a little office, they can keep the plans there, they can keep some
Right.
supplies,
We've only done one building that required a construction trailer, which was 365 on Route 59. And that we included as part of the original site plan.
They showed the location
They
of the
showed a
trailer
construction
when they
trailer.
approved the site plan? Okay.
Sure.
All right,
We were on site for 2 years with that trailer.
okay. Well, they only allowed it for 18 months, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's the plan here. So the first question I have is, one, is there any legal prohibition against it? Or are we entitled to it? We just need the planning board to approve the location.
well, that's up to Chris, but according to the way I read the code, there's no legal prohibition from having 2 temporary trailers for construction purposes.
I'm reading the same thing in the code.
So it does need to go to planning?
It can't be put on the site until planning board approves it. This is what the code specifically says.
Okay.
Yeah, and but the planning board's approval. Hold on.
The planning board
It is-
approved that extension.
Mhm.
And Lewis
So-
also issued a building permit for the construction of the OLs.
So the planning board has to approve the location,
That's
and
it.
it also under sub 6 of that section also has to approve the maximum occupancy of the trailer.
Okay.
What's
What's
the
the
section,
maximum
Chris? Can I have the section?
It's section 210-26.
Okay,
B is in Bravo, and then the planning for planning board approval of the location, it's sub 2, and of occupancy is sub 6.
okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? I guess how would this differ? If we had a construction trailer, we had a bank of 4 porta-johns sitting on a slab, would that be different than this physical structure? I mean, it would acting as the same if it was portable, you know, sitting on a slab outside a construction trailer, you always see 3 or 4.
In
I'm
Airmont,
deferring to Lou on that one.
we have code for porta-johns. They're a
Okay.
limited time frame on a 2-week basis.
Mhm.
So
So,
it's just a 2-week basis, okay.
yeah, in this case, it's like a venue bathroom. It's a men's and women's venue bathroom on a trailer.
Yeah, I looked at it, Okay.
So it's considered a trailer, so I'm considering it a construction trailer since they're allowed legally to have 2.
Okay,
I wasn't happy about it, but you know,
It's allowed.
it is indeed for 18 months, so.
So then all we have to do now is just get the planning board to okay the location. Lou, are you okay with the proposed location?
I am. Thank you for moving it away from the property line.
You're welcome.
And the other thing
I had to
that
say something.
the other thing that Dave and I was talking about is they're no longer going to be on pads, right? They're just going to be on the grass area.
Right.
So the concrete walkway leading to it, we could eliminate that and put like an item 4 or some sort of
That's
you know,
entirely up to
pervious material if that's something that you want as well.
That's entirely up to you. I mean, when in 18 months, you're gonna be ripping out concrete walkways. If you want to do it at a paver or item 4, that's up to you.
Okay,
I mean, you don't want a trip hazard either, so it's gotta be something that the public, I mean, you got a 6-inch curb there, so you gotta get over that. And whatever you lay down there has gotta be something that's stable, but since they have gravel walkways all over the cemetery, you could do that, or you could do something that's a little bit easier to rip up than concrete pads.
But if they wanted to, they can pour concrete and just rip it out in 18 months when they're all done.
Just an additional expense for them and a lot of work, but it's up
Right.
to them.
Right. So, if that's what they did, you don't have a problem with that.
Nope, as long as it comes out in 18 months.
Okay.
I think this story has a byline.
I think so.
All right, then I just guess we just have to go to the planning board for the to approve the location.
And the occupancy. How many people are
And the
gonna
occupancy.
toilet at once? Can't have 50 people in the toilet at once.
Well, it has 4 stalls and 1 urinal, so I don't know how many people.
It's
are
only
occupied.
45 people at once.
Yeah, so I think the bathroom is pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
Yeah.
But the construction trailer, I know they wanted to have a little desk
Lunchroom.
area and then maybe a little microwave and something like that. So if the guys wanted to go in there and sit down and grab lunch, they could do that. So you're probably not talking about 2 or 3 workers sitting down to get out of the cold.
And listen, when I go there, as long as the trailer doesn't have bunk beds and a couch and a TV, and good.
So as far as an
Hopefully-
application, what do we got to fill out an application, a site plan or a narrative? What would we have to do?
What we did, we did and we submitted one, right?
It's not a site plan. It's you can only apply for these temporary structures after a site plan has been approved.
Right. You have an approved site plan already. This is just
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
amended.
just whipped cream on the sundae.
yeah,
So
and
Max-
this one doesn't. As far as I
Max,
can tell, this one doesn't require a public hearing either. This is just site plans, planning board sign off, since it's not a site plan.
Right.
So it needs to go to the planning board to be discussed.
Correct.
Right.
They're going to have to vote on it, but they don't have to have a
But
public
there's
hearing
no
according to your
public,
code.
no public hearing, no EAF, right?
Yeah.
They're just going to approve the
We
This-
have
location
no
and the
public
number of
hearing.
people. That's it.
They're
Just a
just gonna-
sign off.
They're just going to approve the location and occupancy of these 2 temporary trailers for the next 18 months.
How are
Okay.
these being fed? There's no generator or anything? It's gonna be a temporary stanchion on site?
Yes.
There's temporary electric. I have to ask Sam about how they're going to handle that.
We just don't want a generator running, during
Right.
office hours, I guess,
It'll wake the dead.
How's is there sewer hookup to the portable bathrooms?
No,
Tanks.
they're going to be
Tanks?
clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potentially water. I called the company. They said if you have a water hookup and electric to the bathroom trailer, they do have a water hookup and electric, but they do have a 150-gallon on-site tank,
Okay.
inside the trailer. But
And
depends.
you're
on
not
the usage.
removing any trees for these trailers?
No, that's on lawn.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll submit maps and a narrative. How's that?
Sounds good.
I think that's perfect.
I thought
Well,
we
I got
already
something
did.
right today.
I
And
just got,
that's why we're on CDRC.
I didn't get a planning board submission. They just sent the CDRC. Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Okay.
No,
I'm
you're
just
right.
looking at the application. It checks off planning board, site plan.
He checked it off, but I didn't get the submission, so it's not like it's going on the next meeting. It'd have to go
Oh.
February.
All right, so we'll make the couple of changes on the map we have to do and make a narrative and deliver it.
Okay. And Chris, I don't have to send out GML comments, none of that. It's
No.
just for the planning board. That's it.
Just for the planning board. No.
Okay, so then
No
I
GML
only
for this.
need,
Yeah.
Not permanent.
Right. I mean,
I only
yeah.
need 10 sets, Dave.
yeah, I mean,
Okay,
the issuance of the permit is at the discretion of the
Building
building
inspector,
inspector. They just
Right.
have to approve the location.
right.
The occupancy.
And
And
the
occupancy.
Okay,
But under the code, that's all that they have to approve.
okay.
That's all that they get to approve.
And
Okay.
there is a narrative written. You just have to modify it. I see it looking at a narrative from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's why I thought we had already done it, but we'll make a new submission, a new map and a new narrative and then you can
Okay.
put it.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Right.
you.
Can I
Have
ask
a
a
good
quick,
day, everyone.
can I
Oh,
ask a quick question? Hi,
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Hi, Robert.
I spoke to Paul Gdansky. He says that they're all new comments that weren't addressed before. Is this the way it works? That just new comments show up after we get all the approvals from after we go through the planning board and zoning board?
I think, well, I don't know what to say. I'll leave that to the engineer.
Yeah, so we had somebody left the office. I was given this plan to review. I reviewed it as if it was a new plan. So if there was other things that were already reviewed, I wasn't aware of it. So I apologize on my side. So moving forward, I just have to have just a little bit more clarity on where we are with the project. So,
And
I'll
what
be
I'm going
more
to
prepared
do
for
is send him The SWIP, I'm gonna see if, I think, Gdansky did a response for the November meeting. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm gonna send him that. And then he's gotta look at the prior reviews from the prior engineer. So if there's anything that we need, we'll let you know, okay?
And the
Yeah,
one comment, couple of comments, probably might save you money on a catch basin, so it's just something to look at. So it might be just less infrastructure. So they're not all negative comments, so. That's all.
okay,
Okay?
fine.
Okay.
I just don't want to see myself going back to planning board, that's it.
No, 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 no,
No.
no. We're
No.
not trying to
You're
do
done.
that. We're not trying. to-
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Thank-
everybody. Bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.